There we go. Okay, here we go. Yep. Listen to JR. Yes. Doesn't mean you can't wear the color blue. And we are live. Okay. New week. New month. Yes, yes, yes. Who's going to reach me? Okay. Yep. Dan Mckee.
Became Rhode Island's 76th governor, the pandemic was taking a toll. Businesses and schools were struggling. Unemployment was up, addiction rates were rising, and our kids were falling behind. Governor Dan Mckee knew it wouldn't be easy. But what's worth doing never is. So he got to work.
In his second full day as governor, Dan Mckee has made important steps to
That's
getting
not what he
businesses
said.
back on track.
The state lifting
Not
nearly
what they
all
said.
pandemic-related restrictions.
Nope.
This is a big day.
The governor signing the budget into law directs additional funding toward education and children, raises Medicaid reimbursement rates, and includes a $120 million affordable housing bond.
Rhode Island schools reported more than 250,000 fewer absences.
And under Governor McKee's leadership, our kids have rebounded faster than the rest of New England.
With the stroke of his pen, Governor Dan Mckee has signed 3 new gun safety bills into law.
State leaders called this a historic moment and the beginning of an era.
Today, Governor McKee is fighting to protect our state
Always
from
the
Trump's
fighting
radical
thing.
agenda and chaotic leadership.
Wow.
Rhode Island state leaders say they will not support President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation plan.
Now more than ever, we Rhode Islanders need a governor who puts us over politics and billionaires.
For the first time in 5 years, Rhode Island saw a decrease in overdose deaths. The Department of Transportation secured a $251 million federal grant to take on the largest bridge project in Rhode Island history. And our state's GDP grew by 3.6%, outpacing New England and the U.S. I know that the chapter we're writing together today will be Rhode Island's best one yet. We're just getting started.
What? Started. Should be finished.
When McKee became Rhode Island's 76th governor, the pandemic was taking...
I'll replay that. There's something very important. Folks, we're live in just a moment. I like to do that. Gives JR a chance to check the audio. I think we should be good to go. Dan McGowan's already banged out a column on it. Folks, we're 1 minute out. Yes, Road Patrol Live returns tonight. Monday night. Yes. Ridiculous. Crazy. And we're live, folks. Good afternoon. Sunny Monday. We have made it to March. This is the real news. Yes, right now, we are live on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. But wait, there's more. You can listen at the website, dpetro.com. Now, also, we are live right now. We do an hour live each day at this time on Facebook Live, on X, and on YouTube. All of our platforms. Folks, it's all right there. This portion of the program is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Remember what we say, lunch, dinner. Who said drinks in the lounge? They're waiting for you at the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. This is also a great spot if you're having a large gathering. Not a lot of restaurants these days can handle large groups, let alone they're open 7 days a week. And the Coesit Inn, maybe you want to have a nice luncheon with a big group. Or, you know, as I've mentioned, someone has passed away and then you're going to have the collation lunch after the funeral. Well, where are you going to go? Well, they're open and they can handle 30 people. They can handle 40 people. They could handle 50 people. I've been there when they've handled over 100 people at a collation lunch. The Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Well, folks, we're still in the 100 days, the first 100 days of the new administration, and it's also brought to you by Propane Plus. Remember, call them for all your propane needs, heating and cooling, Propane Plus, 401-885-4209, or in Massachusetts, 508-252-3359. Propane Plus Heating and Cooling. They also have a very user-friendly website. It's propaneplus.com. Residential or commercial, you can depend on Propane Plus. Just log on, type in your zip code, and they're always there for you. All right, I want to start off. Now, listen, at what time? At 1:08 on this Monday. Do I think the situation with Ukraine is newsworthy? Of course. Is it important? Yes. But there's plenty of outlets you can get that. So just as a heads up, I'm not going to touch on. I don't think I can share anything that you can't get anywhere else. I'm all about, or I should say, we're all about providing original content that you can't get anywhere else. And as much as I don't believe that the election back in November, I don't think it was decided on how we're going to act with Ukraine. As a matter of fact, I know it wasn't. So what I'm going to do this hour is there's far more important things happening closer to home in the 401, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, our part of the world. That's what I'm going to zero in on and talk about. And then there are outlets. There are places you can go. There are platforms, venues. There are some people that's all they want to talk about. Many of those people, by the way, they don't pay attention to what is happening locally. And it also comes out. I get email from some people like, why are you posting what Senator Sheldon Whitehouse says? Why are you posting what this person, Gabe Amo, Congressman Amo was saying? Why are you posting what Governor Mckee? I've received email. For some reason, it's mainly women, but they say you should only be posting. I like how they're instructing me what content. You should only be posting positive Trump posts. No more, listen, number one, don't tell me what type of content to do. Number two, you don't have to be on the page. Number three, some of these people, your audience must be all libs and Dems. I invite and encourage you to read some of the comments. And I am very comfortable exposing many of the statements made by these individuals because the media won't. The local media won't. Just finally put a period on this. Listen, I'm not doing an echo chamber. There are some people that just post all day on them. Trump, Trump, Trump. Whatever. Go to those pages then. You post what you want. I think it's far more fitting when you get to see Congressman Gabe Amo, boom, laid out. I think it makes far more sense in exposing our Democrat elected officials because they're not leaders. So these people, you're posting things that Sheldon's saying, correct, because people need to know what he's saying. You're posting things that Sabina Matos is saying, right again. Who says a broken clock? Well, a broken clock is right twice a day. Yes, I'm not doing an echo chamber. So shoo along, some of you individuals. But I want to touch on what is happening right now in our area. I think it's important, and someone has to flesh it out. And I'm more than happy to do that. And if you read the comments, these people, what are you talking about? What am I supposed to post? Trump is the greatest president. What are we going to have? 5 other people? That's right. That's right. That's right. Go live in your blanking echo chamber. Not running an echo chamber here. I know what I'm doing. People need to know what they're saying and doing because the media can't be depended on. Now let me get back to what I was saying. Before I was annoyed. JR, is that a blue shirt? Yes. Has nothing to do. I didn't realize that. Is that where we're at? Can't wear any blue. All right. Hold on. I want to get to my Dan McGowan. We have him on once a week. He just posted a column. Where are you? Here we go. Governor Mckee announces re-election bid. The 2026 race is underway. It's already with controversy, by the way. Hold on. Here's what he writes. 9 years, 10 months, 5 days. It sounds like a hostage being held captive, because that's what it is like. That's how long Governor Dan McKee's asking to be Rhode Island's chief executive. This is Dan McGowan, posted today, Rhode Island section of the Boston Globe. If he wins re-election next year, serves another 4-year term. He'll be closing in on 80 when he leaves office, which would be January 7th, 2031. The Democrat officially kicked off his re-election campaign, releasing a slick video. Makes the case he inherited a state ravaged by COVID pandemic, rising addiction rates and poor performing schools, and trying to move things in the right direction. McKee's already facing a Democrat primary challenge from former CVS executive Helena Foulkes, who he beat in 2022 by 3 percentage points, the lost day of voting. He doesn't write that. I'm putting that in. Lost day of voting. The unions, disorganized labor, pushed him over with the mail ballots. Foulkes hasn't formally announced her campaign, but she's already raised more than $1 million. Magritte has basically half of that. While the chattering class spent much of the last year gossiping whether McKee would even run, there's never been much of a doubt from his top allies. Ever since he inherited the governor's office, he's been promoting his Rhode Island 2030 plan, which he lays out a vision for improving education, raising family incomes, creating a healthier state, advancing infrastructure. He needs more time to accomplish any of these goals. I would add in, he needs time to accomplish any goals, not those goals. The challenge is Magritte is whether he's always finicky electorate really wants him to be the one to usher Rhode Island into the 2030s. AFL-CIO, who feel, my words, that they have their puppet stooge, released a poll showing 29% of voters believe the state's headed in the right direction. I think that's high. The only ones that think the state's headed in the right direction are the organized labor people that are supporting him. McKee's approval rating was 27% in January. 27%, which I think is high. He doesn't belong there. He's in over his head. A different poll from Morning Consult had McKee at 44%. I don't think that's accurate. What's next? McKee and Foulkes appear to be on a collision course for a rematch next year. But there's still plenty of chatter about House Speaker Joe Shekarchi jumping into the race. He hasn't said publicly he wouldn't run against McKee. Plenty of allies think he could still enter the race. If it's McKee versus Foulkes, you can expect a much more negative campaign than the candidate ran in 2022. The McKee campaign, now this is Dan McGowan of the Boston Globe, despises Foulkes and the elite crowd that supports her. You can expect attacks on a record at CVS. There's a reason McKee's video mentions overdoses. They'll be quick to remind union voters Foulkes' husband, Bill, was part of the commission that overhauled the state pension system when Raimondi was treasurer. Foulkes will likely target McKee's handling of the Washington Bridge, the potential loss of Hasbro. They are leaving, my words. And the controversial education consulting contract McKee gave to the ILO group. Don't expect the gloves to come off right away, though. The truth is McKee likes his chances against Foulkes, and Foulkes likes their chances against McKee. Other scenarios get messy. Both candidates likely spend the rest of this year raising money, boxing out potential candidates. Now, Governor Magritte, folks, and I don't know how many, I think I'm pretty clear. It is, now the election is next year, 26. So he's announcing now. When is she going to announce? I don't know. Whoever's going to announce is going to do it in the next 9 months. Actually, probably the next 6 months. It doesn't mean you couldn't announce next year. But Clayboy Pell, he announced late January of 2014, and that was already seen as like he was running late. But I want to touch on this Mckee video that came out. Listen, I'm telling you right now, we can't afford to have him another 4. I don't know what it's going to look like by the end of next year. He is terrible. He has no backbone. Governor Mckee cannot be trusted. They have their plan, which is they own the radio station down the dial, WMckee-RO. Everybody falls in line there. They do quick hits with Kim Kalunian on Channel 12. They do live with Dan Janik, who, I don't know what to make of that. Janik had a lot of opportunities. Their Channel 10 and Channel 12, their thing is, let's just give him access. Whereas the station down the dial, they run more interference for him. And the things they talk about are like not even, listen, it's ridiculous. And his campaign surrogate holds court every afternoon. And they allow it to happen, is my point. But this video, the Globe, and I want to give credit to Steph Machado, she already picked up on something that I think is interesting. And there's some other things said in the video that the media is not going to highlight, but I'm going to highlight because you need to know these things. Excuse me. By the way, tomorrow's also a big night. President Trump's State of the Union, and we'll talk about it on Wednesday. And MSNBC is telling Democrats not to go, that they should not attend the State of the Union. We'll see whether or not. Maybe Sheldon Whitehouse doesn't go. I don't know. But at the same time, they like FaceTime. They like being on TV. Magaziner, Amo, so forth. Folks, this portion of the program brought to you by Kids Club on the Pike. Birthday parties, before and after school programs. Kids Club on the Pike. Now, it's perfect for a birthday party venue or a team venue, any gathering of children. A perfect spot for it is Kids Club on the Pike. Now, you could rent the entire facility or just part of it, maybe. They also have before and after school care, transportation, after school care for school ages children 5 through 12, preschool, half and full day program, preschool children 3 through 5. It's Kids Club on the Pike. They're right off of 295, right on the Cranston-Johnston line. You can look for them on Facebook. They have a great Facebook page with tremendous videos. You can call them 401-443-5336. If I mention anything that you're in need of for your children or grandchildren, whether it's before or after school care or preschool, Kids Club on the Pike. Kristen, they do a great job. 401-443-5336. Now, this is significant. I don't know how much local media is going to play off this. They should play off it. So Governor Mckee released a video, his re-election video. In the past, whoever was running, they would have a gathering and then announce that night, and everyone files in and all the supporters. They use it as a fundraiser. Now, he doesn't want to do that or didn't do it or can't do it, whatever. But anyhow, he just releases the video. But I think it's interesting because the video they release, and this is so important that you comprehend this at 1:20. The video he released, the Boston Globe has already tapped into that they edited the video to change what Channel 12 anchor Mike Montecalvo is saying. So I want to play it, and this is significant. This is significant because he's trying to alter what is being said about him. He's the governor now. He's not just someone running for governor. He is the governor. And folks, I believe this is so like the full Mckee. This is exactly who he is. They think they can alter video and no one's going to notice. One of the biggest, I fully get why Dan Mckee is pals with Pork Boy, because they're both of the same mindset, that they think the moment they walk into a room, they're the smartest one in the room. Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, he feels he can outsmart everybody. Now, again, the guy has not lost the statewide election. But I want to play, because this is significant. If he's willing to alter, this is so important. If he's willing to alter his campaign announcement re-election video, what would make you think that he would be above board with voting or other outrageous claims. I mean, I think he's. I know this is going to seem harsh. I think of Governor McKee. I think he's a pathological liar. I think it's constant lies. He does word salads. The reason he doesn't sit down on Channel 12 with Ted Nesi and Tim White is because they would pin him down on stuff. So he goes for venues where the clock is running. He just tries to run out the clock. But this is the video that he released, and it is a video.
Rhode Island's 76th governor, the pandemic was taking a toll. Businesses and schools were struggling. Unemployment was up. Addiction rates were rising.
He mentions addiction rates because of, then he's going to circle back and take shots at Helena Folks.
And our kids were falling behind. Governor Dan Mckee knew it wouldn't be easy. But what's worth doing never is. So he got to work.
Now, this is the part that they edit. It's Mike Montecalvo on Channel 12. Mike Montecalvo on Channel 12. Here's the edit part.
Second full day as Governor Dan Mckee has made important steps to getting businesses back on track.
He actually, Mike, who I've known forever, says has made steps he claims will get businesses on track. You get it? So the Channel 12 report has made steps he claims will get businesses on track. But listen, this is his rollout video. Listen to how they edit it. And if you watch the video, which I did post on the Facebook page, the video zooms in on Mckee on the screen. And then that's where they edit it. Now, again, the reality is that he claims will be important steps. Listen how they edit to make it seem as though Mike Montecalvo of Channel 12 said, and he's making important steps that will blah, blah, blah.
He has made important steps to getting businesses back on track.
That is not accurate. That is not what was said. He's editing a Channel 12 newscast. Sitting governor in his re-election bid video. Folks, what else is he dishonest on? Is there any reasonable individual that trusts this guy with the bridge? But wait, here's where he gets to Trump. And here's where he gets to, I played it. He was on with Dan Janik, and Dan Janik on Channel 10 said to him, are we a sanctuary state? And what do you think Mckee says? But no, absolutely not. No, blah, blah, blah. So, well, Rhode Island PBS, I'm going to fight Trump when it comes to any type of deportation. But listen to the part where he's going to stand up to Trump on behalf of the people of Rhode Island and what he views as Trump has a radical agenda, him and Musk, and the chaos that permeates. Oh, hold on.
Related restrictions. This is a big day.
The governor signing the budget into law, directs additional funding toward education and children, raises Medicaid reimbursement rates, and includes a $120 million affordable housing bond.
Here it
Rhode
comes.
Island schools reported more than 250,000 fewer absences. And under Governor McKee's leadership, our kids have rebounded faster than the rest of New England.
Completely false. Another lie. Rhode Island children test scores are they're below pre-pandemic level. Last in New England. Another lie. This is his rollout video.
With the stroke of his pen, Governor Dan Mckee has signed 3 new gun safety bills.
It's not a gun safety bill. He's harming legal gun owners with the stroke of a pen. I'll tell you what else he could do with the stroke of a pen. He could change what Chafee did in 2014 that now requires that ICE needs a court-ordered ICE detainer. Chafee changed that. Mckee, with the stroke of a pen, could change it back. He won't. All right, here's the part about Trump.
State leaders called this a historic moment and the beginning of an era.
Today, Governor McKee is fighting to protect our state from Trump's radical agenda and chaotic leadership.
Rhode Island state leaders say they will not support President
Now it says Mckee stands with Rhode Island immigrants.
elect Donald Trump's mass deportation plan.
I think that was Allison Bologna.
Now more than ever, we Rhode Islanders need a governor who puts us over politics and billionaires.
For the first time in 5 years, Rhode Island saw a decrease in overdose deaths.
Again, why is he mentioning that? Because he's going to go back after Helena Folks regarding opioids when she was there.
Transportation secured a 250.
Who's bragging that they got a government grant to fix the bridge? He says he has a 2030 plan. That bridge won't even be done by 2030.
$1 million federal grant to take on the largest bridge project in Rhode Island history. And our state's GDP grew by 3.6%, outpacing New England and the U.S. I know that the chapter we're writing together today will be Rhode Island's best one yet. We're just getting started.
Dan Mckee, 4 more years, it says. You know, I want to address this. To me, it's unimaginable. It also plays into, though, Mckee stands with Rhode Island immigrants. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment, folks, because it's really important. And there's something else that's going to be happening that the rest of the media, you know, I'm at 128. I'm very comfortable that you recognize we're going to peel back the onion, so to speak. We're going to expose what the rest of the media many times won't. Not all the time, but on certain things that they will not. But let me stay on schedule. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Modern Mechanical. Now, remember, hey, it's freezing out. If you're having a problem with your heating, boiler repair and maintenance, wherever you're listening or watching right now, if you're having a problem with boiler repair and maintenance, furnace repair and maintenance, heater repair and maintenance, Modern Mechanical, call them 401 441 5442. 401 441 5442. Richard and his staff, folks, you want to make sure your heating system is working as efficiently as possible. Modern Mechanical can do that. 401 441 5442. Let's just, I want you to understand something at 129. and part of it is you have to know the language that these people speak. If someone right now went through the process and is an immigrant, or they became a citizen, or there are people that are here that have all their affairs and paperwork in order. It's a simple question. Why would they need help from Lieutenant Governor Matos and Governor Mckee to know what their rights are? The answer is they wouldn't need to know that. They wouldn't need to know that. So it's disingenuous when in Channel 12, I put this story on the Facebook page. Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos is hosting a community conversation on, quote, immigrant rights. Community conversation, immigrant rights. Is there anyone that actually believes that she's holding, quote, a community conversation on the rights? No, it's not about that. And the groups that she's involved with, by the way, the groups that she is involved with, they happen to be the groups that support all of the illegals. And it's for her to continue to go down this path, and the media should be calling her out on it, because the partners, the reason why she's having these groups on with them, and the groups are Dorcas International, which what do they do? Dorcas International, Institute of Rhode Island, Progreso Latino. What they do is they do outreach for people that are in the state illegally. The reason why she's doing this roundtable, so to speak, with them is because it's kind of an out for her. Like, oh, I didn't give advice in that way. They're giving the advice. So she's using what I would call like plausible deniability. Matos to host community conversation on immigrant rights. I think they even did they do an interview with her? It comes on the heel of a nationwide immigration crackdown. This is Channel 10 again. No, it's a nationwide illegal immigration crackdown. Her office has been getting more calls from concerned immigrants. Channel 10 the team you can't trust, refuses to use the word illegal. Then they say President Trump's been working to deliver on his campaign promise of cracking down on illegal immigration. Matos immigrated to the U.S. at the age of 20. This is the first time she will publicly address concerns since Trump took office. Matos, I want people to know their rights. Listen, it's tonight from 6:30 to 7:30. If they're here illegally, they don't have any rights. That's something that these people, oh, no, that's not true. That no person is illegal, blah, blah, blah. That's part of their whole act. That no person is illegal. That's really not what we're talking about. Folks, the fact of the matter is they import them so much to not only come into the country, but come into the state of Rhode Island so they can cling to power. Let me hear. This is the Channel 10 report.
Is hosting a community conversation on immigrants' rights.
This comes on the heels of a nationwide immigration crackdown. NBC 10's Katie Benoit joins us live from Providence with why Matos says she is now addressing the issue. Katie, good morning.
Good morning. The Lieutenant Governor says her office is getting more calls from concerned immigrants. Now, President Donald Trump has been working to deliver on his campaign promise of cracking down on illegal immigration through deportations. Matos immigrated to the U.S. at the age of 20. This is the first time she will publicly address concerns since President Trump took office. Matos says she wants people to know their rights. A similar event in New York City, led by a congresswoman, faced backlash from the administration.
Are you prepared for backlash?
No, this country is a democracy. There are rules, and the rules that apply to everyone. And there are rules to defend people, and people just should be aware of what those rules are. That's all we're doing.
What?
And tonight's virtual event will be from 6:30 to 7:30.
You know, notice she doesn't answer the question. Are you prepared for backlash? I don't know, not a democracy. Oh no, that's not. She knows exactly. I have no idea what else went on in this meeting with Matos. Let me play it again.
Women faced backlash from the administration.
Are you prepared for backlash?
No, this country is a democracy. There are rules, and the rules that apply to everyone. And there are rules to defend people, and people just should be aware of what those rules are.
Let's talk about that. We're a democracy, and there's rules to defend people. Well, first of all, let's talk about those rules. The people that have something to worry about, Lieutenant Governor Matos, are the people that don't follow the rules. That's who has something to worry about. The people that don't follow the rules, the people that are here who aren't supposed to be here, the people that just jump the line, the people that say, and people like Matos that say the rules don't apply to you. That's who has something to be concerned about. Oh no, we're a democracy. Does anyone know what she means by that? The people that are in trouble are the people that have not followed the rules. Let's hear it again.
Are you prepared for backlash?
No, this country is a democracy. There are rules, and the rules that apply to everyone. And there are
rules that apply to everyone. You know, again, that's not accurate, folks. That's not accurate. If you're an American citizen, which I'm thinking most of the people that are watching or listening right now are, you have certain rights as a citizen of the country. If you're here illegally, you don't enjoy the same rights. We're not talking about basic human rights. I'm not talking about, food, water, shelter. We're not talking about that. What she just said, oh yeah, no, the rules apply to everyone. No, they don't. This is what I've been trying to tell people. And, maybe I will watch some of this tonight. This whole notion, what does that mean? We're a democracy. So we're going to vote on it in the state? Are you prepared for pushback, backlash? That tells me they're not on firm footing with this. I don't think the questions are being properly framed. I don't think it's framed that way. And I want to be very clear, folks. As Governor Mckee went on with Dan Janik, oh no, we're not a sanctuary state. Do you know not every state offers driving privileges What type of state would offer driving privileges? I'll answer the question. A sanctuary state would offer driving privileges. That's who would offer driving privileges. Folks, this portion of our program is brought to you by Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. Call Corey today, 401-283-9815. This has been a rough winter. And when you look around and you see the damage that's been done to parking lots, driveways, pavements, roads, Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. It is cold today. Once this blows through, spring is 2 weeks from Thursday. I think we're in good shape. Call Corey at 401-283-9815. Seal coat driveways and parking lots. They offer crack filling, pothole repair, line striping. They can make your pavement look like new. They help keep your parking lot safe by fixing potholes, cracks, make sure your lines are bright, direct traffic safely. They also do sports court resurfacing, pickleball, tennis, basketball. They can epoxy garages and patios, decorative concrete flooring, quality asphalt seal coating. Call right now for a free quote. I share their Facebook page in case you need to check it for further reference. 401-283-9815, 401-283-9815 for quality asphalt seal coating. Now, the Matos situation. Oh no, we're just Dorcas International, Progresso Latino. Folks, those are organizations that completely work with illegals. She's being disingenuous. She's not, I'll tell you, she's certainly not being truthful. Oh no, we're just having an immigrant discussion. Does that make sense to any reasonable person? Oh yeah, we're just having an immigrant discussion. That makes no sense at all. It's in his video kickoff for re-election. Mckee says he stands with Rhode Island immigrants lacking legal status. What more do you need to know? Mckee stands with Rhode Island immigrants, the illegals, lacking legal status. I'll tell you what this is. This is a word salad. This is where the Mckee administration, there are people out there, because I know the game on this. I'll tell you what they do. You have people that come here on a visa, and a lot of them, by the way. I know a lot of people think people just sneak over the border, Texas, Arizona. The majority of them, especially in our part of the country, they fly in. They fly in from the Dominican Republic. They fly in from Guatemala, wherever. They get a travel visa. And then what do? Or Portugal. And then what do? They overstay the visa. And then once they're here, they start trying to do paperwork. And they, by the way, they may purchase something that says they have a social security number. There's rackets out there. There's that immigration lawyer. They raided his office. I'm pretty confident in saying that guy was manipulating people, whatever the cost may be. But they try to do it backwards. I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to try to get the proper paperwork. That's not how it is set up. So I want to remind people, let me just type in actually, how many states offer illegals a driving license? Illegals, driving license. Hold on, 141. Let's see, 19 states. So 19 states. As of October, 19 states, District of Columbia, Puerto Rico offer driving licenses. States that offer driving licenses to undocumented. California, Colorado. You know, a lot of people don't realize Colorado, the whole Boulder, Denver, it's pretty earthy, crunchy. They offer, those two states are big sanctuary states. Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Chicago, big blue state. Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota. Minnesota's a big blue state. You'd think it'd be on the bubble, but it's not. Rhode Island, Nevada. Now, so I just rattled off for you and again, where Mckee is disingenuous, Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, is he tries to say, oh no, we just offer driving privileges. There's no difference. There's no difference. What states did I just not mention? I didn't mention New Hampshire. I didn't mention, on that list, I don't even see New York, New Jersey. As I think of it, you don't hear Florida. You don't hear the Carolinas. You don't hear Texas. You don't hear Ohio. You don't hear Oklahoma, Nebraska, not even Arizona. Nope. No, Rhode Island. So when he says without lawful status, I mean, that's Rhode Island. There we go. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, Maryland, Mass. Oh, New Jersey. This list has New Jersey, New York, New Mexico, Oregon, of course, Pacific Far West, Rhode Island, Vermont. I didn't know that. Washington State. Yeah, Washington State and District of Columbia. So my point is, Maine doesn't. There's plenty of states that don't. So my point is, in pointing this out to you, at 144, is don't fall for the media role where they just say to Governor Mckee, are we a sanctuary state? If you were in the country illegally, would you rather be in a state that you can obtain a driver's license or a state that you can't obtain a driver's license? You know the answer to that. You'd rather be in a state where you could obtain one. Here's my point. At the very least, what they owe us and owe you, at least they should be transparent what they're saying. Mckee can't even do and produce a re-election video where he's being legitimately honest within the video. He can't even do that without misrepresenting what Mike Montecalvo of Channel 12 said about him. Folks, this portion of our program, if you need a good plumber, hey, who doesn't? Eventually, whether work or home or business, JMB Plumbing. Call the Dream Team. Call Jimmy and Tommy at JMB Plumbing Repair and Service. They can repair damaged water pipes. They can repair clogged pipelines. They can all plumbing work. JMB Plumbing. Call them 401-743-9153. 401-743-9153 for JMB Plumbing Repair and Service. Now, Helena Folks did issue a statement this morning in response to Governor McCreed. My point is, folks, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled when McKee or his allies try to just say, oh, no, it's not that, and blah, blah, blah. No, that is absolutely by design how he's trying to mislead people. McKee, he tries to act like a magician. What does a magician do? A magician tries to, with the sleight of hand, obviously fool you. And Governor McKee declares his campaign for re-election. Let me see what it is that Helena Folks said that a number of people are mentioning, that I just want to read. She did respond to it. I think she actually should respond again. She did put out a statement about it, but the statement that I saw from Helena Folks did not address the fact, and I'll give credit to the Globe, some creative editing by the Mckee campaign, where they changed with what Mike Montecalvo said. Helena Folks said the status quo for Rhode Island isn't working. Only 29% of Rhode Islanders think the state's headed in the right direction. Hasbro's on the verge of leaving. They are leaving. Hasbro is leaving. They were going to announce it either today or this week. Mckee reached out to them and said, hey, it's the least you owe me, right? You owe me. The least you could do is delay it a couple weeks. So Hasbro is leaving. He won't even be honest with that. And then he takes a shot at them. Well, they're a shrinking company. She writes, Hasbro's on the verge of leaving. Housing is unaffordable for many, far too many. The Washington Bridge still isn't getting rebuilt. Our schools are underperforming. All of that is accurate. Everything she's saying here is accurate. Now, she writes we're up against a $300 million budget shortfall. I think it's higher than that. I think it's much higher than that. Now, she writes, with looming threats from the Trump administration to cut vital services for our most vulnerable, with all the challenges facing our state, chaos in D.C., Rhode Island deserve less self-congratulation, more focus on the everyday concern. Listen, I'm not saying she's the answer. I don't know what the answer is. People are asking me. Who do I think? What do I think the solution is here? I don't know. I don't know at this point. Many times, folks, elections it's a matter of options. When you go in that voting booth, what are my options? What the Democrat Party fails to realize is the options were President Trump or Harris. And no, how can I say this? No real, how can I phrase it? No one normal, certainly no normal guy was going to vote for Harris. That was just never happening. Elections, I know people like to say elections have consequences, and that's true, and it's cliche, but elections also are about options. What are the options? Who's running? The options were President Trump or Harris. I mean, to me, like many of you, it's a no-brainer. But whether it comes to governor or Congress or lieutenant governor or any of the positions, it comes down to what are the options? I know people like to say elections have consequences, but elections and who's on the ballot also have consequences. So I don't know what the answer is right now. I think it's a wide open field. I think a Republican has a tremendous opportunity with where people are right now. In the radio show, I played that House Speaker Mike Chippendale and Senate Minority Leader Jessica De La Cruz. They were on Newsmakers with Tim White, Ted Nesi. And Tim White said, if you could wave a magic wand, like one thing that you could do, just like one thing, get one thing done, what would it be? And they both said to have basically a state auditor, we want blah, blah, blah. That's, to me, that's not the answer. To me, the answer is we need legitimate elections. Do you know Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, folks, is running for re-election because they feel they can manipulate this primary. They're not even worried about who may challenge him in a general. Their answer was an inspector general. That's not resonating. We need to change how we do voting here. How bad is Rhode Island voting? Rhode Island voting is so poorly done that Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee, who's wildly unpopular, he and his team feel they can manipulate the vote and get him over the hump, so to speak, in the Democrat primary. That's a prime problem. If we had legitimate elections, Mckee would not be seeking re-election. What his approval rating is, which is about 22 to 27%, would match that But when you have the AFL-CIO saying we're going to ballot harvest and we're going to grab all these mail ballots and we need 21 days to do it, and we're going to pull them out of assisted living centers and nursing homes, then you have someone saying, okay, I'll run for re-election. You guys will grab all the ballots like, yeah, definitely. Are you kidding? We'll even be better at it than last time. That's, we don't have, it wouldn't take a lot on newsmakers. Both Senate Minority Leader Jessica De La Cruz and Mike Chippendale both said an inspector general. That's not, that's just like a, I'm not saying that wouldn't be important or good, but that's just like a budget thing. We need legitimate elections. So people like Mckee and Magaziner and Matos can't manipulate the election. And I'm sure Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee is probably making promises to Secretary of State Amori saying, listen, you get me in one more term. You get me over the hump in one more election, and I'll endorse you to be run for governor in 2030. 100%. Mckee sees this as just one more time. It's like the last robbery. You know, like in the movie Blow, where Johnny Depp is like, nope, I'm doing one more. And then that's it. So that's what this is. That's what this is. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Arch Design Builders. They specialize in residential or commercial. Call Arch Design Builders today at 401-207-4124. Now, spring is 2 weeks from Thursday, I believe, right? Spring is, we're about 2 weeks out. Let me just double check it. Is it 2 or 3 weeks from today is March 3rd. Today is March 3rd. Yeah. First day of spring is March 20th. This Thursday is March 6th. And then 2 weeks from then is the 20th. So maybe now you're thinking of doing something with your kitchen or your bathroom or a basement or a deck or a special project for your home or business. Arch Design Builders. Folks, it all starts when you pick up the phone and set up, let's have a conversation with this incredible husband and wife team of Ed and Roxanne at 401-2018-9707. And you're going to learn the Arch difference. Arch, family owned and operated, husband and wife duo. Let them work their magic for you. Arch Design Builders, making Rhode Island great again. 401-218-9707. Whatever the project may be, but it all starts with the phone call. Let's have a conversation. Let them look at the space and let's dream a little bit. So maybe you're thinking, I wouldn't mind having my bathroom redone, a kitchen or basement or deck or a special project. Arch Design Builders. Call them right now. Did I mention free consultation? I believe so. 401-2018-9707. I share both their Facebook and Instagram page. I want to just see Kathy Gregg of the Providence Journal. She followed up on, let me see, dust up over Mckee campaign video. What WPRI's Mike Montecalvo said. In his second full day as governor, Dan Mckee has made what he calls small but important steps to getting business back on track. What does the video have him saying? So the video has Mike Montecalvo, as I explained. I thought she'd actually talk to him. I'd be curious to see the Channel 12 package on this because they have the original audio. And you know what's amazing about this, folks, is Mckee, he will blame Channel 12. So the Mckee people took video. Maybe they had it. Maybe they already had it. They wanted to remove the he claims. They edited it and made it seem like Mike Montecalvo, anchor of Channel 12, was saying he's made important steps. They took out where he says he claims he made important steps. See, that to me is the classic Mckee, or as Dan McGowan would call it, the full Mckee. And then, but wait, there's more. What he's also then going to do is, you watch, he will now be angry at Channel 12. He'll be angry that Channel 12 caught him. And it was actually Steph Machado of the Boston Globe. It was Steph Machado of the Boston Globe, who used to work at Channel 12. She's the one that caught him saying that. As far as I know, that's who caught it. Maybe Channel 12 pulled it up. But to edit what the media is saying, but see, to me, that's exactly who Rhode Island Governor Dan Mckee is. Like, I'm not shocked by that in any way. That's exactly who he is. He will now be angry. Mark my words. He'll be angry at Channel 12. Much like, this is like the Rotunda all over again. For his State of the Union, he didn't want the protesters there. They pretend they reserved it. And then the media finds out that they actually tried to reserve it past the time that had started. Then they get angry that the media figured it out. Everything with Mckee is okay as long as you go along with his narrative. Folks, this portion of our program brought to you by JD Lawn Care and Tree Service. Call them today, 401-441-0154. 401-441-0154. JD Lawn Care and Tree Service. Hey, get some of those branches trimmed with JD Lawn Care and Tree Service. I share their Facebook page. Don't wait for a windy day and some of these branches come crashing down under your home or business or driveway. Call JD Lawn Care Tree Service today, 401-441-0154. Well, it's 1:59. If you're listening to the radio, stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news. And then coming later, we'll be back out. Road Patrol Live, new month. It is cold out. Weather starts to break as the week goes along. And then I'm very curious to see what Lieutenant Governor Matos does with her big community conversation informing illegals of their rights. They don't have any rights. This is just a narrative they're permeating. Listen, everybody, thank you. We'll see you later on Road Patrol Live. If you listen to the radio, stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news.